How about you? Hey, listen, I got over here to my buddy Brad's house. Brad is at Piney Grove Homestead. And if you haven't seen his channel, go check it out. It's a really good channel. A lot of information.
It's a great channel.
It's probably the best channel on YouTube, to be honest with you. He does a lot of, would you call it teaching?
Well, I would say I'm a process guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I'm not funny like you, so I don't know. I can't tell jokes, so I just tell what I'm doing.
So if you want to learn stuff, go see Brad's video. And I needed to learn how to do this food plot stuff. And so I called Brad up. He's down 10 miles from me, 15 miles from me. And we were like, hey, I'd never done a food plot before. I've never tried to put lime on it, done all stuff. So I went to domain.com. And I got all this stuff. This is all domain stuff, not sponsored, by the way. But I will leave the website to how I did this, because if you're a new guy and you want to learn how to do it like I'm learning how to do it, their website is very, very helpful. But let me show you what I got. Brad's going to kind of help explain why we got what we got, and go from there. All right, Brad. So let's talk a little bit about this is our first step, right? The elbow grease. So what's happening here?
So Hank's kind of putting me on the spot because
That's right.
I just read this, but I do know a lot. I grew up as a farmer, right? So I know a little bit about how to maintain your soil, but I've been food plotting for about 16 years on a 1,200 acre hunting lease. And I've learned a lot about pH. So pH is the acidity in your soil. Hank's soil is about one level of pH too low. So this will raise the pH, and it's actually a liquid product. And I'm not used to using a liquid product, but everything that I'm reading here, and also what I found out recently this week about like hydrated lime, which is that real white powdery lime that looks like mortar, is that this is going to do the trick, and it's going to do it quick. So I think this is going to be real good to raise your pH by that one level. And pH is exponential. So you're looking at, you are 10 times more acidic than you want to be. So we should be able to get you up to about 6.5 pH with one application of this.
Yeah, and this is 2.5 gallons, and it covers 1 acre. And so I have a half-acre plot, so this is going to be plenty to do. So these quantities are all for 1 acre, but they're not going to really be dangerous for a half acre.
No, you won't. You almost can't raise your pH too high. Perfect alkaline is 7, and it's really hard to get to 7 and maintain it. So I think that putting that whole container out will be perfect for you in the sprayer. And then you also have liquid fertilizer, which has low nitrogen rate here at 3. And then your potassium and your phosphorus is a little bit higher than you can get in a store. And this will be perfect for what you're trying to plant, because you're trying to plant some legumes here. And the legumes make their own nitrogen, but so you're not going to feed the weeds by giving yourself a high nitrogen level on your weeds, because these will make their own nitrogen. And this also looks like you can do it pre-emergence, where you put it in the ground before you put your seed in. So maybe save half of this, put half of it on before you plant. And it's also post-emergence. Hank could go in there with if he wants to, with a spot sprayer or a hand sprayer, and spray the other half.
Yeah.
And that way, when the plants are growing, they would get another boost of the nutrients that they need. And he's got here chicory and clover. So I know clover's a legume. It makes its own nitrogen, because that's what I plant in the fall. And I plant it in the fall because it likes to establish its roots over the winter, and then in the spring it explodes. And we can actually take you to the food plot in the back and show you how my clover's doing. And chicory, even though it is very bitter, for some reason deer like it. And just like acorns, if you've ever tried to eat an acorn, they're bitter as heck, but deer absolutely love acorn. Yeah. They love acorns more than they even love corn. And then here he's got a legume. He's got forage soybeans, which I've planted them before. I use Eagle soybeans. He's got peas, which iron clay peas is a good summer food plot. Lab is another bean. And buckwheat, which grows fast and actually will reseed itself in about 30 days. And you can get multiple coverage with buckwheat just by letting it seed and then retilling it. So this looks like a great setup here. So even though you didn't know what you were doing,
I know, right?
You did a good job, because this is exactly like if I was seeing a whole bunch of offerings for a company, this is exactly what I would have recommended you buy for your 1.5 acre food plot. Was that too much, man?
No, that's, I mean, you're drinking from a fire hose at this point, you know what I mean? But Yeah, like I say, this is not a sponsored video for Domain, but I will say that they make it easy. That's a fact, Jack. So if you're interested in the Domain products, and I think Joe the Farmer does a lot with Domain as well. So go check out Joe the Farmer. But let's the reason I'm here is not only to learn about this kind of stuff, but he's also going to let me borrow his sprayer.
Yes.
And so we're going to put the ATV sprayer. We're going to pick it up from him, and then we're going to listen.
Well, let's go back to the food plot. You know, if we look at the sprayer and just show you what I meant about the clover and how it's growing.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so this is the little ATV sprayer. I'll talk more about that when we get it back to the house.
So Hank says he wants his food plot to look like this. And this food plot was started 7 years ago, and it looked just like Hank's half-acre food plot where it was sandy. It had bad pH. It only wanted to grow weeds. And over the years, we've amended our soil by growing things and then incorporating it into the soil and building our soil up. So we've got rye, wheat, and oats out here. And then we also have a white clover and a red clover. And the idea is we plant once in the fall, and then we just let this thing go. And then next fall we plant it again, and it feeds your deer and also your turkeys, because turkeys like to come in here in the clover and do a little bugging. It feeds all year. So that's the goal for Hank, is he wants to get to this stage here where he wants to get his soil built up, and he plants once, and then his food plot feeds his herd all year long.
I got a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to pre-mix the liquid lime, the elbow grease, and water, 5 gallons at a time, and then pour it into the sprayer. This is the part that I want to warn the men about, right? So men, listen. If you're watching this video and you got your wife with you, you might want to tell her to look away or whatever, because this is the part where it's the first day of short season, and I don't want to cause any problems in the marriage business. You know what I'm saying? So get your wives not to be looking at the legs here, all right? And if you're looking at them, well, something's wrong. But anyway, let's get some water in here. Let's mix it with lime, and we will get to it 5 gallons at a time. I'll put 3 of these buckets in here. And let's see, I think it said 15 to 20. Let me read it one more time. It's been a couple days. We've had some really, really strong winds. Hold on. Got to put my eyeballs on, Gimmo. I thought it said 10 to... Okay. 2 to 3 gallons should raise your pH. It should be mixed with 15 gallons of water per acre. 15 to 20 gallons per acre. So we'll do... I don't know. We'll do 17, right? All right, this will be like gallons 15 and 16 here. All right. So 15, 16 gallons-ish in here. Now all we got to do is just start making some passes around the half-acre food plot that we've got. And shoot, what you talking about, driver? Come on. Let's get down to the woods, shall we? Looks like it's spraying pretty good. So we're just going to go at it. I don't know. And it ain't exactly windy, so we should be all right. This all, and then I got just a little bit left at the bottom. I'll turn it off and go ahead and just pour it out on the field somewhere. I just don't know if I did it right, you know, because the ground is like not saturated, and I was expecting to see like the saturation, but I can look and I can see some glistening on the leaf. Glistening, is that the right word? I can see glistening on some of the leaves here, So I think that, and obviously we're out of product. So, it went somewhere. It's been a slight breeze. It's not horrible. So I don't think that the breeze carried it off. I do think that the product was applied to the ground. But since this is my first time doing it, I just don't know if, I did it right. Time will tell, right? So I hope so. I hope I did it right. Something you can do right is hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. I'm a little over 16,000. It's a big goal of mine, and I cannot get there without your help. Together, me and you can get there, and I would appreciate it if you would smash that subscribe button, because it's a big goal, and I think that if you help me, we'll get there. But the product is on the ground. I think we've got an acre's worth of product on a half-acre plot, and so I'm hoping that it just does good. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys say? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, because it's gonna be something else for sure. But it's such a beautiful place out here, ain't it? I think I'm gonna put my shooting house down in there. That's the only bad part about that, is the sun is in your eyes in the evening. Now in the morning it'll be a good morning hunt stand, but in the evening it won't be a very good stand because the sun will be in your eyes. But that's the best place to come in and out, without spooking the deer or whatever. Man, I got a lot of things to think about. Next steps. I'm glad you asked. What are the next steps? Next steps will be the fertilizer and then the seed. And we talked about that earlier in the video. So we'll put down the 3-18-18. And then I know Brad mentioned about maybe putting like it's pre-emergent, and then half for pre-emergent, and then half for post-emergent. And I don't think that this is just, look at this bug right here. This ant was carrying this bug. Y'all can't see that, can you? Squirrel! But we won't, I think I'm just going to put it all. I think I'm going to put it all on the ground and just put, and then seed it. I'm going to landscape this rake first, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier. And the reason why I'm using my phone to make this outro is because I've got about 15 minutes worth of footage that the microphone wasn't on. That's awesome. I've only been doing this YouTube thing since 2018. You'd think I'd learn how to check my microphones, but whatever. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. We appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. God bless you guys.